What's up guys, it's Eli here from Brickme Studios, and today I'm going to be reviewing the LesDiy Sci-fi Swordsman, aka the body for the relatively new LEGO Sauron Helmet. And then also towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you what the build looks like with the helmet attached. So this set comes in at 2,547 pieces, and then without further ado, I just want to thank LesDiy for sending this over, and let's get into the review. So first thing I want to say in this review is that this set is pretty giant. You can definitely tell, at least when you pick it up, that this is indeed 2,500 pieces, because this thing weighs, I don't even know how much. It feels like it weighs like 20 pounds when you pick it up, and it definitely is not short either, as you can see here with this. Yeah, so it is about a little bit over a foot here when I'm looking at this ruler, especially with the mace. It's going to come in at quite a bit over a foot there. So yeah, definitely a tall and dense build, and it is not very hollow either. There's a lot of stuff going on in the inner workings of this body. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to start off at the feet and then just kind of work my way up, going and showing you all of the detail that's in this set. So starting off at the feet here, we can see quite a bit of detail going on, and I also think that they nailed the shape of these feet here. I really like the curvature going upward, and yeah, so all around great detail going on there in the legs. And then also once you move upward, you can see, I really like this kind of, I don't know what it is, kind of chainmail almost kind of look. I really think that that's really cool. You can also bend this around, kind of shape that however you want. And yeah, just so much detail kind of going on all along here, forward-facing stud techniques here, which I think all looks quite cool. And then I really do like the way the hands are curved there, and then also you have that space for that ring there. So something that I will say is that you can't really move the arms or the feet, actually, for that matter. They're kind of in a fixed position, so the feet you really cannot move at all. I mean, there is a Technic pin that you could just slide out, and you could move the feet some, but they probably would not be super sturdy in there, and it might wobble around quite a bit. And then the arms, yeah, you can't really move them up. You can't really move them up and down, but if you take them fully out, you can kind of put them in different positions. So you could probably have this, because as you can see, this arm is slightly higher. So if you take it out, you can kind of shift them in different positions there. And then of course, along the back here, let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit for you. But yeah, there's this cape here, which this uses a lot of pieces in the build. I was surprised at how many parts that went into that. And you can also kind of see on the underside here of the legs, you can see that you have these holes, kind of like the minifigure leg holes there, where the studs would go into. So I thought that that was a really cool detail. And then here up at the top, we also have the kind of like shoulder pad things, like the spiky shoulders, which I also think is really cool. So yeah, then of course we also have the little piece here where you will be attaching the helmet. So that's cool right there. Looks just like a minifigure torso with the little thing extending up here to put the head on. And then I also really do like this mace build. I thought that it looked quite cool. You get these kind of sword pieces going up to make the mace. I will say there's a Technic pin that goes through this, or that should go through it anyway, but I was having such a hard time of putting the Technic pin through this build that I just left it out. I will say that this build has some trouble with the Technic parts, so the big Technic pieces that would slide through all of these cylinder type pieces here. It's just really hard to slide it through because the tension is just too much. So either the Technic parts have to be a little bit thinner, or these pieces, like the holes in between them, need to be wider. So I just decided to leave it out because it's not super flimsy as long as you're not like shaking it around, but it would fall off if you were to shake it around. But I don't know if that was just the Technic piece that I got that maybe just wasn't great, but I just decided to leave it out because I was having too much trouble to put it in. I was also missing some of the parts for this. I was missing like about 7 actually. So I was missing the majority of these kind of sword pieces here, but I just got in touch with them and they sent them out real quick, no problem there, probably about 5 or so business days it got back to me. But yeah, so overall, I'm really liking the look of this build. Let me back that up so you can see it there. I'm really liking the look of this build. I think that overall the detail is quite there, and I really am excited to get the Sauron helmet on here. So let's just go ahead and do that, because that about wraps up the review portion of this video. Okay, so here we are at the top of the torso here, and then all you're going to need is to pull up these instructions at the end, and then all of their instructions, by the way, are online, so you just scan like a QR code that comes in the build, then it'll pull up these instructions on your Google Drive. And then so here we are at the helmet step. So this I've kind of already done because that's the top of the torso here, so I just threw it on the build when I was done with it instead. So all you should have to do is just go to that page here, and then I have my Sauron helmet right here. So I'm going to try to take this off, see what happens. So after taking it off the stand, it should look like this pretty much. And then this is what the stand is going to look like once you are done with it pretty much. So all you should have to do now is just stick this on top like so. Let me see how there we go. Ooh, and that is what it is looking like with the helmet on and all zoomed out here, so we can see the full build. And I think this looks stunning here. I really think it turned out really great. I think the proportions work out really nice with the LEGO Sauron helmet and the LesDiy body there. I think it really looks great. And then some final thoughts here on the LesDiy build. Overall, I had a good time building it. There are no numbered bags in the set. I don't think LesDiy does that with any of their sets, but so it is going to take longer to put the set together. I still thought it was a fun experience, but you just have to be more patient, or if you want to like sort at the start, I would recommend that. I didn't fully sort it. I did a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It does come somewhat sorted already with how the bags are laid out, so you're not totally just stranded doing it all yourself. It does come somewhat sorted, which is very nice. And overall, I think the build looks nice. The building experience was good. I think the brick quality is quite good. Actually, some of the clutch power, especially with the Technic parts, sometimes can be off. That is probably my one big complaint with the bricks. But other than that, I think they feel and look quite good. So that about wraps it up for this review. I just want to thank LesDiy for sending this over once again, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review and showing how to put the helmet on, and I'm just really happy overall with the way this looks. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.